Okay, we're back in the OTG working on the 51, and we've got some cheapo headers, some LS swap or conversion headers. They're shorties, you can see, and we just slammed them on there real tight so we could listen to this thing with headers and try not to burn the garage down. And so my lovely assistant, Elena, is gonna show us the first start with these headers on. So let's do it. That is much better than open heads. So that is great. Another step closer. So we will keep on going. Man, that's great. They took a little bit of fitting over here. We had to clearance our control arm because they didn't fit that great, and it's probably related to how we mounted the engine in pretty low. So next time I would probably mount that engine slightly higher, but with a little massaging of the header tube and the control arm, we will fit in there just nice. There's also a little tab out you can't see off of the block that was getting in the way of that. So we just sanded that back a little ways. This will also be pretty tight right in here for the clamp. So there might be a little clearance we got to do on the back side there. But they fit really well on the driver's side. There was no obstructions to speak of. They'll fit pretty nice. I'll show you the part number of these cheapo headers, but stainless steel, and they look like they're built pretty well. I couldn't have done better. However, I probably would have changed the shape of the passenger side one to have it bend outward a little bit more, and then that would give us a better shot for this S10 frame and trans and this Suburban trans, but S10 frame. So anyway, that's pretty cool. Now we're going to keep going. Okay, here we go, painting the frame on this bad boy. We'll just bring you up to speed. We knocked the rust off of this guy with wire brushes and some compressed air, just to give the paint a better shot at sticking. And we threw it up in the air, put some automotive plastic below so we don't make a huge mess of this pristine floor. Just kidding. And then covered up the lift arms so we don't bugger them up either. And we're ready to paint. So Elena, who one day hopes to run this truck for herself, is working hard. She's gonna throw down some rusty metal primer and then a satin black with brushes. And where we can't reach, we can shoot some primer in, crevices, and then a top coat. So we're gonna get to work. Show you how it goes. So we got some primer down, and so we'll give you a look how it turned out. This is just that Rust-Oleum paint over rust metal primer, and it's still a little wet. And on the front end, we didn't do all the control arms and steering joints and all that because we're planning to replace those. So we just did the sway bar, but mostly the frame is what we were aiming for. And Elena did an outstanding job. Kind of a cool color actually, but we're gonna go over the top of it with black. So let this dry overnight and we will get going with it tomorrow. The moment of truth. We've got a painted frame. After 2 nights of hard labor and elbow grease, maybe a little more than 2 nights.
Elbow paint.
There we go. We've got a black Rust-Oleum oil-based paint, just the regular stuff. It's cheap. It seems to be durable just from experience with paints, but with that rusty metal primer under it, I think it's gonna last forever. So it looks like what was under it, which was rusty metal. But we're not going for a show vehicle. This is functionality at its finest. Nice. Now we can carry on with loading up the cab and sheet metal again. And we'll replace the front end. We'll get this thing put back together and get her driving.